All right. All praise to the Most High. Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Back at it with another lesson. Job layoffs are increasing in Egypt, man. So I'm gonna start off with this quick precept, then we're gonna go to the video. Cause I seen this early this morning. When I woke up this morning around like all praise to the Most High, like 9 something o'clock. It says Habakkuk 2:1, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he was saying to me and what I shall answer when I am reproved. So, we are watchmen for the house of Israel. We, what I'm saying, look out for our people to let them know, hey, what's going on? What I'm saying, report things, man. And it says, and the Most High answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it. Right. So we're watchmen, we're always watching, looking out, and this happened, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, never mind. I seen it today, but it was like 3 days ago. It says layoffs at UPS, Target, Amazon, and we're going to jump into it, man. So, like we say all the time, we don't own the rights to this video, just using it for informational purposes. The rights belong to 11 Alive, and let's get into it, man.
A tough time right now for the job market. Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Laurel. Major companies are slashing jobs and impacting tens of thousands of workers across the country. We're talking big names like Amazon and Target. Some companies point to rising operational costs from new tariffs. Others are restructuring their corporate teams or redirecting money to artificial intelligence. Federal employees have also been impacted this year. The Trump administration cut thousands of jobs through its goal of reducing the size of the federal workforce. Many government employees are also now going on weeks working without pay or...
And realize this, a lot of people right now are working without pay. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are working without pay. Realize that a lot of people are right now going to work every day in these federal jobs and they're not being paid. How are they going to feed their families? How are they going to pay their bills? You got to think about stuff like that, man.
On furlough because of the ongoing shutdown.
Makes you, in a sense, be grateful that, that you are being able to get paid and that you're able to still provide for your family. So, hey, man, just need to be more humble.
Amazon just announced its latest round of job cuts. It's slashing 14,000 corporate positions.
You got to think about this. 14,000 people, when they came into work, did not expect to be laid off. Think about that. You walk into your job and then all of a sudden everything's finna shut down. Everybody's finna get fired. Now you got to start over again and try to figure out how you're going to get the next job. But you got all this going on and it's going to go into it. But you got a lot of people that's being laid off their job. Now they got to try to find another job to provide for their family. Think about it. People got bills to pay, all them little high school movies and shows. This is reality. You got to pay bills here to survive, Let's keep going.
Says it's streamlining operations and redirecting resources towards AI. Amazon's headquarters are in...
Always just keep hearing that AI. She keeps saying AI because if I'm not mistaken, a lot of workers just got replaced by AI, so pay attention to that as well.
Seattle. Sebastian Robertson reports from there with more details and reaction.
Looking for an easier way to get that LLC next to your business name? Say hello to Taylor Brands. Just go to their site and...
Amazon executives say they're all in on AI, confident they can continue to grow with fewer people. This round of cuts impacts about 14,000 corporate employees worldwide.
They are one of the most valuable companies on the planet, and they seemingly lay off employees en masse once a quarter. And it just isn't fair to the employees that do make them all of their money and don't seem to get rewarded for it.
Seattle's largest employer confirmed the layoffs in an internal memo, calling AI the most transformative technology we've seen since the internet.
Think about how many people are getting replaced at their job every single day by AI. You know, we just what made me start first noticing it. I think what was it around, like, what was that when they started making self-driving semi trucks? I forgot what that was. Then they started having self-driving Ubers. You know, now they're trying to push this technology now to the next level into the job force, removing humans and now putting AI in there, man. You know, because think about it. He just said, this man right here just said, AI is the most transformative technology we've seen since the internet. Man.
Memo says the technology is allowing Amazon to operate faster and leaner. Some newly jobless employees took to social media.
I was laid off by Amazon. I was one of the 14,000 employees that were affected today. They sent out an email at 5 a.m. Seattle time, the thing so that people don't have to go to the office if they are laid off. I'm still processing what has just happened.
Amazon experienced.
You got to think about this. Let me go back. Just in case anybody couldn't hear him, we're going to go back. This man right here put in the caption, laid off from Amazon 10/28. You got to think about this. I'm not going to call him no other nation because, like we say, we don't go off skin color or appearance. You know, we know through prophecy, Isaiah 11 and Zephaniah 3 and many other verses, you know, that Israelites are scattered worldwide in different various of places, you know, and we know we all don't look alike how we used to, you know. But this man right here just said that he got an email at 5 a.m. talking about he got laid off. You got to think about this. Look at this man's house. This looks like a nice standard house in this day and age. You got to think about this. How is this man how is he gonna pay for all this stuff? Think about it. Some people, I'm gonna get some verses. You know what I'm saying? Let's get some verses real quick. But you got to think about this. Some people in this world that got laid off their job, and they got to go find another job. But how are they gonna find a job? Well, majority of this place, people that's living in this country can't even find a job themselves. Think about that. Second Ezra, let's get Second Ezra 15. Oh, Salakia, give me 1 second. Salakia, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me what's up real quick. All right, we back. Okay. So we back to it. So it says, okay, I don't know why the basketball game came on. Okay. So like I was saying, a lot of people are losing their job, and also at the same time, they have to go find another job. So let's get Second Ezra 15. One of my favorite precepts, man. It says, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people. So you Israelites, we need you to listen up. The words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, man. Right? It says, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Why am I messing up on my words? Let me read that again. And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. So all these words that's written in this Bible, you know, these are faithful and true. These words are going to come to pass, whether, like we say in Romans, I forgot where it is in Romans, whether some didn't believe. You know, a lot of people are stopped believing in the Bible. They say this is written by a white man. You know, you're still under the white man's brainwash. You know, these words are faithful and true, and they're going to come to pass, whether people believe it or not. Like we say, all praise to the Most High. It says, fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the credulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. So all these people that's speaking against us, man, don't fear none of these things, man. Don't fear none of these imaginations that these people in this world are imagining against us, you know, because we know that it says that they are confederate against us anyways, you know. So don't fear none of these people. It says, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness, you know. A lot of people don't have the key word of unfaithful. Faith. I'm going to highlight that. A lot of people truly don't have faith. A lot of people don't. A lot of people stopped believing in the Bible. A lot of people gave heed to seducing spirits, you know, doctrines of devils. A lot of people went off and departed from the Lord and took heed to devils, man. It says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. That's why you're seeing all these things going on in this world today. Because a lot of people be like, well, if God is real, why is he just letting all these things happening? That's how you know that they don't have the Holy Ghost to understand what the words of prophecy. It's a blessing that you're in the truth, or a blessing that you are tuned in to what's going on in this world. Because a lot of people are walking like blind men. Let me get that in Zephaniah. I love that precept too. Love all the Bible, front to back, man. Let's get this in the prophets, Zephaniah or Zephaniah. Let's get this real quick. Yep. Zephaniah 1:17. And I will bring distress upon men. You got to think about this. A lot of people are in distress. A lot of people woke up and they lost their job. A lot of people are in distress because of WIC, SNAP, and EBT getting cut off. You know, a lot of people are walking in distress, that they shall walk like blind men because they have sinned against the Lord. See, you don't want to be like this, blind. You're blinded. You can't even see what's going on in this world to realize that all this is prophetic, Bible prophecy playing out. You know, their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung, man. You know, so you don't want to be like that, man. You don't want to be walking blind in these last days to what's going on. You know, you're distracted by different things, the cares of this life. You know, you don't want to be taken away by the cares of this life, because you can see, you can obviously see that this place falling apart. I always say we need to work, yes, to survive. Yes, we need these things to survive, but don't become wrapped up in this society to where you start forsaking the Most High. Let me read 2 Ezra 15:5 again. It says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. All these things that's going on in the world is because the Most High hand is upon this world. As we read in the prophet Ezra, the 9th chapter, man. He's showing us signs and wonders. Who's paying attention? You got to think about this, man. The Lord's not playing. He spoke this, and it's going to happen. The sword, famine, death, and destruction. Famine is what? Not having food. Why you think it's such a food crisis going on, man? A lot of death. I just seen yesterday, it happened in England. I think was it 2 men that stabbed like 11 people on a train? One's in critical critical condition. You got to think about that, man. We just seen what happened to the brothers and sisters that's down there in Jamaica, man. I just seen, like, I think in India, a lot of people died from a stampede or something. The Lord is not, the Most High God is not playing, you know, and destruction. There's a lot of destruction going on. We always pull this in Proverbs about when your destruction cometh nigh. We got to think about it. That's wisdom speaking through the Spirit. A lot of people's destruction is drawing nigh, man. Lord willing, that's not none of us. I'm not excluding myself from none of these things. I pray that the Most High has his hand covering us while he's sending these plagues. Let me get this to Psalms real quick. If I'm not mistaken. Let me grab my other 1611. This is my old one, man, but had to get me another one because this one, it was falling apart on me. But let me get this. It's in Psalms. Let me see what's in that Psalms. Was it 37 or 38? I think it was 37, if I'm not mistaken. Or it might have been 38. Nah, it might have been 37. I'm trying to find it. Yep, Psalms 37. Let's get it. Psalms 37 and 19. Well, we're going to start at verse 19 and read down. Let's see. Yeah, let's get this real quick. Psalms 37 and 19. Right? It says, Psalms 37 and 19. It says, they shall not be ashamed in the evil time. See, Lord willing, you're not going to be ashamed in the evil time. All these things going on, and a lot of people don't know why it's going on. Why is this all going on? Why is all this going on? See, a lot of people don't know what's going on, but you know what's going on, you know. And in the days of famine, they shall be satisfied, man. So in the days of famine, Most High willing, the Lord's going to protect you. Like he said, we're going to get that too later on. 2 Ezra 16, where he says, I'm the guide of them that keep my commandments and precepts. That's why you got to keep these precepts on your mind. That's why you got to keep the testimonies of what he did for our forefathers on your mind. Did anybody that called upon the name of the Lord was ever forsaken? You got to think about stuff like that, man. You got to truly trust in the Most High in these times, man. You can't put your trust in the government. You can't put your trust in man. These mortal men are going to fail you every single time. That's why we praise the Most High for all the things that he's done, man. It says, but the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Lord shall be consumed as the fat of lambs. They shall consume into smoke, shall they consume away, man. Right, let's keep going. It says the wicked borroweth and payeth not, but the righteous show mercy and giveth, man. Right? So the righteous, man, they're gonna show mercy and give, you know, but that's going on to a different thing. But you know, you get the point, man. In the time of famine, man, you're gonna be satisfied, man. When the Lord's doing all these things, he said, I'm gonna protect those that truly trust in me, man. Did he say about the prophet Isaiah, my servant's gonna eat, but y'all gonna be hungry? Let me get that real quick. You got to think about this. If you're serving Yahweh through his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, through sincerity and truth, he said he's going to protect you, man. We're just going to read the words of the Lord, man. It's Isaiah 65, and let me see where it's at. Did I pass it? My servant shall eat. Was it 65? Was Isaiah 65? Let me see. I think it was Isaiah 65. What else? Let me see. Where is it at? Let me see. Oh, it's verse 13. Oh, okay. I'll praise the Most High. Verse 13. All praise the Most High, man. Isaiah 65 and 13. It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord God, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. A lot of people are being ashamed right now. In the service of the Lord, they're going to rejoice because they see that Bible prophecy is coming to pass. I'm going to have to steal that from the brother. If you see all these things coming to pass, the bad things, think about the good things that's going to come. The kingdom of heaven, Israel back on top, man. That's why we don't get caught up in the cares of this life. You know, we know that we need to function in this society, but we don't get caught up with the cares of this life. Trying to store riches on this side where moth, rust, thieves come to try to break in and steal, man. You know, we're putting our mind on heavenly things, man. We're not worried about this life, man. Let's keep going, man. It says that 2 Ezra 15 and 6. Close that out. for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth. You got to think about this. Wickedness is at an all-time high. It's normalized to do wickedness. So the time when you're out, when that's why you should never be ashamed of coming into the knowledge of the truth. Because a lot of people, when you come into this knowledge of the truth, you look totally different from somebody that's of the world. Think about that. You're totally different from somebody that is of the world. Because it's normalized to go to the club. It's normalized to smoke weed. It's normalized to take any sort of drug now. Be a drunkard. You know, it's normalized to do a lot of things in this world, man. So who's gonna be that light to say, nah, I'm not doing that, man? And their hurtful works are fulfilled, man. It says, therefore, saith the Lord, not us, the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. You got to think about this. There's things going on in this world that the eyes of the Lord see. Things in spiritual high places, man. You got to think about this. I wanted to do a video. It was a white dude. He was fair skinned. I ain't gonna say he's an Edomite, you know, a fair skinned man. He got up there and was like, you don't know truly, because he said he was an ex-Satanist, you know, and he said you truly don't know what people do on Halloween. Think about how blindly people just celebrate Halloween. Like, yeah, we're just doing it for the kids. No, you're worshiping devils and demons, man. He said that a lot of people go missing on Halloween because why? They're doing sacrifices. They're sacrificing people. You got to think about this. They do these things in the dark, and the Lord sees all these things, man. That's why he's sending his hand. That's why these people are shook right now, man. You know, these higher ups, man, they're shook because the Lord got them like that. The Lord got these people scared, man. All praises to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. He got these people shook. He's not no longer just sitting there just, okay, I see these people sacrificing babies in darkness, stealing little girls, trafficking them. His hand is upon these people, man. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Because don't they wake up, like the prophet says, in the morning and practice those things that they think about? This place is the only place that does wicked stuff like this. Other parts of the world as well, but chiefly among this nation, man, you see that a lot. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me. Because a lot of people like to scoff against the Most High. Where was he at during slavery? When we was getting raped? Ravished. When we was getting killed. When we was getting hung, when we was getting burnt, when we was getting all sorts of things happening to us. But I'm going to have to steal that from the brother Obadiah, all praise the Most High. He was like, we got to start taking accountability. You got to start saying, hey, I messed up. I'm the reason why I'm dealing with curses today. Me and my ancestors. Think about that. But the Lord said that he never forgot the innocent and righteous blood that cried unto me. Let's pull up. I'm gonna get two examples. If I show pictures of things that look horrible to look upon, just showing it for informational purposes. Look at that. It says an exact number is impossible to determine. An impossible number to determine. They're just giving us an estimation of how many of our people died over here. You got to think about this. For all of our people, we love our people. We do. We truly love Jake. We love Jake. We love Eve. But to say forget about that is a real slap in the face to our nation, man. That's a real disrespectful way how to disrespect your ancestors. What do you mean forget about getting hung on a tree? What do you mean forget about seeing a man get burnt alive? What do you mean forget that a woman's baby was cut out of her stomach and stomped upon the ground and shot? What do you mean forget all these things? That's right, because you're still scared of your master, man. But that's why the Lord's raising up chiefly first a remnant, man. It's starting off with the remnant, the elect, man. The elect is not scared, man. They're not scared, man. They're not scared. The remnant's not scared, man. They're gonna stand up for the Most High, like it says by the prophet David, man. We're not scared, man, to stand up for the Lord and say what's right, man. Let me keep going. It says estimate for the number of deaths during the middle passage vary, with some suggesting that between 1.2 million to 2.1 million Africans died out of the 10.7 million to 12.5 million who embarked on the journey, man. You got to think about it. A lot of people died and was thrown overboard into the sea. Think about that. The Lord never forgot about that, man. The Most High God in heaven never forgot what happened to his people. As much as people want to walk around, oh, forget about it. That was so. I want people to think about how long ago was segregation, Jim Crow laws. Think about this wicked country when they did that things to our forefathers, man. Segregation. How can you forget about something that was literally not too long ago from right now today in 2025? Man, the primary cause of death were disease like dysentery, smallpox, scurvy, starvation, violence. Look at this. Violence. Most of excuse me, going through a little sickness, man. Pray for your brother, man. But think about how many of our forefathers took on that boat. Half of them probably knew that they were this was. I'm not gonna say all the people that was on that boat was wicked Israelites. Some of them probably knew. Think about this. Not all of our people was wicked, but we all still went into captivity. Think about it. Not all of our forefathers and foremothers were wicked on that boat. Think about that, man. Innocent blood got spilled. Think about how many innocent and righteous people cried out to the Lord in that time. He just had to chastise us, man, because we brought it upon ourselves. It might not show no pictures just because, it might bother some people, so I ain't going to do it, But you get the gist, you get the gist. Let's see. And the souls of the just complain continually. For all you people that's tired of this place. The Lord's hearing your cries like he did in Egypt. Let me get that real quick. And we're going to go back to the video. I don't want to be on here too long. Just want to, for all you people that's tired of America, keep crying out, man. Keep crying out. The Lord's hearing our cries, just like how we did when we was in Egypt. Let me see. What's it? Chapter 2? I think it was chapter 2. I think it's chapter 2. It might be chapter 2 or 3. Let's see. I heard my people. Oh yeah, it's chapter 3. Chapter 3. Oh, let's see. Yeah, right here. Yo. Chapter 3. All praise to the Most High. It says, Exodus 3:6. Moreover, he said, I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon God. And the Most High said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people, which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters. For I know their sorrows. God knows everything that we're going through, man. That's why you should not be discouraged about what's going on. The Lord sees everything that's going on, and he's fighting for us today. Why do you think he's sending plagues? He's doing it for you. All he wants to see us do is repent. Now let's go back to this, man.
Seattle time, the thing so that people don't have to go to the office if they are laid off. I'm still processing what just happened.
Amazon experienced a massive hiring boom during the pandemic, but has implemented multiple waves of layoffs since 2022. While major job cuts would historically spook investors, experts say this time is different.
You're seeing the stock market applaud these cuts because it signals, hey, maybe they can rely on AI, maybe they can operate more efficiently, and maybe they can go forward with a lower payroll.
A trend Schulman fears could be repeated across the broader tech sector.
AI is changing how people get information, how they process information, how they create content. And so we're seeing that can all be done much more efficiently than ever before. And so it requires far fewer people.
Those 14,000 corporate cuts are about 4% of Amazon's corporate workforce. Amazon is asking impacted employees to apply for internal positions. If not, they have 3 months to find another job. Target said it's eliminating 1,800 corporate positions. 1,000 employees just got layoff notices, and 800 vacant jobs will no longer be filled. Gordon Severson spoke to Target workers.
It was just like no one felt safe.
Heading into the weekend, many Target employees were worried that come Tuesday morning, their lives could be changed forever.
Like we say all the time, man, you got to think about this. These people woke up, thought they was going to go to their job, and they just got either an email, a call, or a text talking about it's about to be a layoff, and you're one of the people.
One was just very stressed out, not knowing what their future was.
We are concealing the identity of one Target employee who kept their job but fears termination. They say the layoffs affected nearly every department, with many teams losing at least one team member.
It's all over the board, and it was just kind of like 1 in 6 people. If you were to like go at a team, like it seemed like that was kind of the ratio.
It's an immensely traumatic event.
Ben Foster with Foresight Coaching says for many employees, a sudden layoff can be just as devastating as the loss of a loved one.
The sense of loss is extreme because it's your world that you've been living in for at least 8 hours a day for who knows how long, and it's often cut off just like that. And so there is an extreme sense of loss that is present with this that not a lot of people recognize.
In the Win with Zen sweepstakes, you can get a chance to win $100,000. But there's more than one way to win with Zen. Here's how it works.
The Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development says the layoffs include several top-level executives and department directors who work in a wide range of departments, including accounting, legal, marketing, communications, supply chain, engineering, and many others. Foster says his office is already receiving calls from Target employees who are looking for their next job.
We've received a couple sort of, what do you have on the horizon? What are you seeing out there?
He says it's a good idea to get the job search started early, but he's also encouraging affected employees to take some time to acknowledge their loss and grief and to lean on family and friends for support.
It's devastating, and you don't really know what the next thing is, and it comes at you quick.
This is the largest layoff event at Target since 2015, when 1,700 employees lost their job and 1,400 open positions went unfilled. So fewer layoffs this time around, but a lot of employees say they are worried about the job market right now, with Amazon also announcing plans to lay off thousands of employees.
Target is one of the largest employers in Minnesota, where the company has its headquarters. The state's economy could take a hit from the layoffs. The cuts are also part of a broader trend of slow job growth in white-collar positions. Danny Spewak has a look at that bigger picture.
In many ways, Target Corporation is part of Minnesota's identity.
It's right in our backyard. It's one of those very visible corporate headquarters.
As University of St. Thomas economics professor Tyler Schipper points out, Target is not only one of the state's largest employers, but also the second largest in downtown Minneapolis, behind Hennepin Healthcare.
Having less foot traffic and fewer workers, especially in these higher income corporate jobs, makes it harder for that ecosystem to continue to thrive.
Target's circumstances are unique, but the company isn't the only one reducing the size of its corporate workforce.
These type of jobs, the corporate jobs in professional business services, have seen slower job growth.
Amazon, for example, also just announced thousands of corporate layoffs this week, telling employees that the company must be organized more leanly in light of changes brought by artificial intelligence.
When you hear terms like efficiencies, that's candid conversation for, all right, we're trying to cut costs as much as we can and increase productivity and our overall profit margin.
Florida State University management professor Darren Brooks studies the American workforce, including the potential impact of AI.
You're going to have leaders like Amazon, like IBM. Those types of companies are going to continue to push the edge on that, but I think we're still at its infancy. And we'll see that continue to emerge and affect more and more jobs over the next couple of years.
For Target, the reorganization is more about revival after a 65% drop in share value over the past 4 years.
This is an unfortunate feature or defect of corporations, that their goal is to maximize profits for their shareholders.
Now, according to the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development, 2025 is on pace to equal or possibly slightly surpass the number of layoffs reported last year. Target is the latest in a series of high-profile reorganizations announced by Minnesota companies over the past couple of years, including General Mills and 3M. You may remember those.
General Motors is also cutting jobs. It's laying off about 1,700 electric vehicle manufacturing positions.
Think about that. Just think about that. This in Ohio, Michigan, Ohio. 1,700 people just got laid off. Think about how many people out there, right? Let's look at this parking lot. Look at how many people now have to go find a job, another job, try to provide for their family, knowing that the job economy is going down, where people can't even get a job after they just lost their job.
Includes 1,200 jobs from its EV plant in Detroit and another 500 workers at an Ohio battery plant. In a statement, GM cites lower than expected EV demand and regulations that have changed under the Trump administration. The cuts also come after the $7,500 federal tax credit for electric cars ended in September. Paramount is cutting about 1,000 jobs, and that's just round one. It has plans to lay off 1,000 more in the near future, according to the Associated Press. That'll be about 10% of its workforce. Now, the layoffs affect jobs across Paramount's TV, film, streaming, and corporate departments. The layoffs were expected. Paramount just completed a merger with Skydance a couple months ago. UPS says it's cut 48,000 positions this year.
Look at that. UPS. How many people? Let's look at that. Let's look this up real quick. Like I said, I don't want to keep just jumping on and off. Close that out. Watch this. It says 1.6 million shipping customers and a 10.1 delivery customers. Think about how many people, 22.4 million packages per day. And they just had 48,000 job cuts. Think about that. That's UPS. That's a big company. Target's a big company. Paramount's a big company. If I'm missing another one,
UPS said 34,000 were operational roles. The other 14,000 were mostly within management. UPS announced layoffs earlier this year, but that total is much higher than expected. At the time, it was estimated it would impact about 20,000 workers. UPS also closed dozens of facilities. It reached a new agreement in January to lower the amount of Amazon shipments it handles. It's not all cuts, though. Some companies are adding thousands of temporary jobs as we go into the holiday season. Jen Sullivan takes a look at who is hiring and how to land a job.
Holiday hiring is ramping up. Many.
I don't mind. But you see that they're trying to have temporary jobs, seasonal jobs. Okay, well, when the holidays is done, you know what's going to happen after that? These people are going to get laid off again.
But it also comes at a time when many of the same companies are also announcing steep layoffs.
We've certainly seen organizations taking a little bit more of a measured approach as to hiring right now.
John Fay with recruiting firm Robert Half says the Good news is seasonal jobs can provide some benefits and may turn into full-time jobs after the holidays.
You're earning compensation, you're building your resume, you're learning skills, you're getting professional individuals, you're adding to your network and getting references as well, too.
Target says last year, more than half of their seasonal hires were offered the chance to stay on after the holidays. The retail giant recently announced they're adding seasonal jobs, but didn't specify how many. The news, though, comes as the company announced it's cutting 1,800 corporate jobs. Amazon also announced mass corporate layoffs this week, but the company says they're still hiring 250,000 people for the busy shopping season. U.S. Postal Service is adding 14,000 seasonal jobs, which sounds like a lot, but it's far less than the 40,000 just a few years ago. Faye says these seasonal jobs aren't just in the retail space.
There's a lot of customer service opportunities. There's a lot of IT opportunities. We see across companies and industries a lot of opportunities in the accounting and finance space.
So how do you find these jobs?
When you're looking for these opportunities, to do job searches on words such as seasonality, temporary.
Faye also recommends job seekers consider contract work. Many companies hire temporary workers for projects this time of year. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Job hugging is becoming a trend in today's market, with more people staying put in their current roles. Coming up, experts share tips on how to turn that into a smart.
Okay, so that's it on that. But you get where we're going. Finishes out second S is what we'll call it today. Let's see. Right. So the souls of the just complain continually. It says, therefore said the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood among them, man. So like we said, the Lord never forgot about what happened to his people, his chosen people that he still has a covenant with today. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. I want you to realize this. The Lord is not talking about ancient Egypt with Pharaoh. He's talking about a new Egypt, you know. It says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before. So that's why we tell people all the time. This is not talking about ancient Egypt with Pharaoh. He's talking about a new Egypt. The Israelites are in bondage in a place spiritually like Egypt. You got to think about this bondage. Hard bondage at that. People working 60 hours, still not having enough to feed their family. Think about that, man. Making their lives bitter every day, crying out, crying. What am I going to do? Think about that. He smite Egypt with plagues as before and will destroy all the land thereof. Look at this place, man. This place is already destroyed. Egypt shall mourn. Look at this. Egypt shall mourn. This place is mourning. And the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that God shall bring upon it. The Most High hand is upon this place, man. And Most High willing, like we say, that he keeps us protected, man, while he doing it, man. Lord willing, man. If that's his will, man. Let's get 2 Ezra 16 now. Get the last 2 verses, and then we'll close out. All praise to Most High. How about Shem Yahushai? Let's get to it. It says, Hear, O ye my beloved, said the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand. Ladies and gentlemen, the days of trouble are at hand. But I will deliver you from the same. That's why we're not stressed out, because we know the Most High God is sending his hand, because he's finna to get delivered. He's finna deliver the children of Israel from the oppression that they are under today. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt. See, when you start letting Amazon, Target, all these places, layoffs, now you're starting to doubt. You can't let them things let you doubt the Most High. For God is your guide, and the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, said the Lord God. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves, right? So don't let your sins try to weigh you down, or how you failed, how you stumbled. Don't let that weigh you down, nor your iniquities lift up themselves. Don't let them get the upper hand over you, man. Repent, keep the commandments, believe on Christ, have faith, man, And with that, digress, give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, through his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Shalom to the elder. Shalom to the brother Nashon. Khan, all praise the Most High. But, you know what I'm saying? Like we say, Lord, when you got something from it, man, don't be discouraged. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't be caught up with the things of this world, man. This world's getting ready to pass away. And Most High one that we, you know what I'm saying, get to see that salvation. But with that, all praise to the Most High through his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Say, Kwame Yashala.